For most modern anthropologists, human history begins in Africa. At Laetoli in Kenya, footprints embedded in fossilized lava have been dated to 3.7 million years ago and established that these hominins, not yet human, were bipedal at least some of the time. At Olduvai Gorge, on the African Great Rift, archaeologists found a partial skeleton of an Australopithecus woman, now called Lucy, which they dated to 3.2 million years ago. She also demonstrates bipedal skeletal structure. The gorge was long home to hominins and the site of stone tool discoveries, like this hand hammer from 1.8 million years ago. Further north along the rift at Lomakai Site 3, archaeologists have found more tools, perhaps the oldest hand tools made, dated to 3.3 million years ago, of a different style from those found at Olduvai. The discovery challenges our idea of what it means to be human, pushing back tool-making to a time before Homo erectus, to the Australopithecus species. Hominins spread throughout Africa, to caves at the south where they created paintings on the stones at Conga Caves, and to the southern shore of the continent at Bombas Cave, right on the cliffs above the sea. Here they created perhaps the earliest hominin art object we know. They also apparently collected and strung shell beads together. At the opposite end of Africa are hominin artifacts dating back 85,000 years. Layers of artifacts suggest that the cave in Morocco, called the Cave of Pigeons, was continuously inhabited for tens of thousands of years. Among the finds are microliths, sharp points possibly used for cutting game or spearing fish, or as darts. Sometime around 1.8 million years ago, a fully bipedal hominin, Homo erectus, emerged and spread throughout Africa into Europe across a land bridge at Gibraltar and westward across land bridges to the Arabian Peninsula. These hominins created new Archaeolean tools, named after the city in France where they were first recognized, and around 300,000 years ago spawned a new subspecies, Homo neanderthalis, Neanderthal man, which spread eastward through Europe into Asia. And here, things get really complicated. Neanderthal artifacts include not only a variety of skeletal types, like those found at Dmanisi in Georgia, but also cultural objects often associated with abstract thought and fully human culture, like the flute found in Slovenia. At about the same time Homo sapiens appear in East Africa and follow the steps of their forebears north and into Europe and Asia, where they compete, and based on the most recent DNA studies, to some extent interbreed with Homo neanderthal. They were not the only subspecies. Evidence in the Altai Mountains indicates yet another hominin species, the Denisovian species, developed and spread through Mongolia and Siberia, and genome analysis shows these two groups also interbred and formed communities. Our theories about how human societies developed and formed communities is sketchy at best. Reconstructing possibilities from artifacts is difficult when we often don't know how something was used or what it meant to its owner. One area that has been fruitful, though, is the study of those forager cultures which lasted at least into the 19th century in Africa, Indonesia, Australia, and the Amazon basin. Particularly haunting are Aboriginal paintings from the earliest periods of Australian human history. The Dreamtime paintings are also frustrating because modern Aboriginal tribes can't always explain what they mean. Unlike early cave paintings in Europe, which primarily feature animals, Dreamtime paintings portray elaborately dressed humans in poses that suggest dance or ritual movement. At least 4 distinct styles exist in thousands of rock paintings. Rock paintings at the Burrup Peninsula combine human figures, fantastic animals, and plants in groupings and patterns that suggest stories. On the other side of the continent, at Cunalda Cave, drawings that resemble finger paint efforts cover the rocks and bear a striking resemblance to those found half the world away in France. Sometime around 18,000 years ago, hominins, now Homo sapiens, crossed the land bridge at the Bering Straits and entered the Americas. One of the most complete skeletons of an early North American human was discovered in 1996. Paleontologists scrambled to determine the ancestry quickly. Initial DNA evidence implied that the man was of Ainu or Japanese descent, not a Native American, so the tribes claiming the body for burial were not allowed to recover it. However, in 2015, new evidence showed that it was Native American and the skeleton was returned to the Colville tribe for burial on their reservation. But the DNA controversy has only just started. Excavations at Monteverde in Chile reveal evidence of human habitation, a dwelling with multiple rooms, fire pits, tools, and animal parts. Complicating the site are charcoal fire remains that date somewhere between 15,000 and 19,000 years ago, suggesting a culture prior to and different from the Clovis sites associated with Native American cultures. Recent findings in Mexico support the idea that a branch of Homo sapiens settled the Americas perhaps 20,000 years ago, and that these people share DNA more like that of people from Southwest Asia and Africa than Siberian peoples. All of this suggests that we still have a long way to go to understand the complex development and migration of hominins.